Good morning, my friends, and welcome back to Coffee Talk. It's so wonderful to be here again. Day 200. Day 200. Oh, you know what? I never did adjust that on my thing. So it's actually, see, I get all excited and hold on here. It's actually Coffee Talk episode number, you know how when things just don't, all right, episode 257. I got to make that adjustment. Amy, good morning. Michelle, good morning. Coach Chuck is going to be joining me today. Hootsek, good morning. Lisa, good morning. I love it, my friends. I love it. Celebrating Chuck's birthday today. Oh, I know. I've got to show you. My milk foam game is on point. It's on point. I'm loving it. Robin, good morning. Sue, good morning. Katie, good morning. Nicole, good morning. Tammy, good morning. Ashley, good morning. Oh my goodness. It's so good to be home. It's so good to be home and to be back with you guys. Before we left, we did a video on all of the plans that we had for going on vacation and following, keeping with our goals. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today and how that ended up. Good morning, Nikki. Happy Tuesday. Carrie, good morning. Jill, good morning. Charmaine, good morning. Karen, good morning. Heard Chuck's birthday shout out on WIXX.
What?
Well, that's super cool. We had no idea. That's very cool. Happy birthday, Chuck, from Sue. Come on, Chuck, get over here.
I'm almost there. I gotta make a grand entrance.
He's stuffing his face with rice cakes. Don't let him fool you. I love it. Michelle, happy Tuesday and happy birthday, Chuck. I love it. You guys are just the best. Amy, good morning. So like I said, we're talking about vacation. Yesterday I talked about vacation. Today we're going to talk about it in a little bit of a different manner. All right, have a seat, birthday.
Woo!
Birthday boy.
We're here. I got rice cakes and coffee.
And we're matching. Chuck's favorite color is blue.
That's right.
So I chose blue.
And orange.
I chose blue today because it was his favorite color.
Oh. And I was like, did you choose blue because it's my birthday? She's like, yeah.
Yeah, of course I did.
But then I thought it would be so much fun if we were twinning. Thank you guys. You're so amazing. Whoever did it, WIXX shout out. I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch the news. But that is super cool. That is really, really, really fun.
Laurie,
thank you.
Happy day and happy birthday. I love it. All right. So today...
It's almost my favorite day of the week.
It's almost hump day.
All right, I'll put these rice cakes away.
It's almost... Yes, you can't be eating on camera.
Why not?
You can't.
They do it on the talk shows.
I'm telling you no.
Okay, fine.
All right, so we're going to talk about vacation bloat, vacation inflammation, and fatigue, and what can you do. So before we left, we talked about all of the things that we were going to do on vacation. We were going to hit our steps. We were going to get our water in. We were going to get 6 workouts in. And we were also going to be conscious of our food while still having fun. So funny that you said Twin Tuesday. It's twin day at school today. Oh, well, we would be.
All right, we would
fit right in. After all the ripping on you that I do, I let WIXX know.
Oh, Chris, you're the best.
You're the best. So we did stick with a lot of those things on our vacation. We got our steps in every day.
Yep.
We did really good on our water. Good morning, Carrie. We had planned for 6 workouts. We got 4 in.
Part of that was because we did get sunburned pretty bad and
yes,
it was a little rough.
Yes. So we did all of those things that we committed to. Now, every morning for breakfast, and it was funny, it actually kind of became a joke by the end of the week, I did my 2 eggs and Chuck did an omelet every day.
Every day.
Now, we did add some stuff to that, depending on if it was strength training or not. We would add a fun carb with it or whatever. But it was funny, as our eggs were made every day, the lady would scoop up, oh gosh, it had to be a 1/4 cup of oil onto her hot greaser, her hot, what's that called, where she cooks it on?
It's a flat
iron.
skillet.
She'd scoop the oil up and throw it on there and put our eggs on it. And I just chuckled because if you add up the amount of calories and fat just in my 2 eggs, I mean, there was no way I was making up for that. And then when we got to lunch every day, we found a salmon that we loved. This beautifully baked salmon with the side of vegetables that came with a ton of oil. Everything was cooked in a ton of oil. It was delicious, don't get me wrong, but the amount of oil, we are talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of calories.
I don't think it was that bad. You make these people sound like they're out to get you. It was probably 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil. So
which is 100 calories a tablespoon.
that's if it's even all absorbed in the food.
So, on top of that, we had our fun coffees every day.
Yeah.
At supper, we were still pretty good with our suppers, but we had our dessert with our supper.
They brought us a birthday cake. It took us 4 days to eat the whole thing.
Which we did eat the whole thing. It was delicious.
So I guess the big picture point here, my friends, is there are certain things that you absolutely can control, right? And it's a decision, right? We talked about this before we left. It's a decision to develop a plan and stick to your plan to the best of your abilities. We definitely had our cake, right? And we also did a lot of the things that we wanted to do. We went out of our way to make sure that there was 2 days in particular that I remember we were like battling back and forth if we were going to get our steps in. We did have to take a couple of walks, but we're on a beautiful beach. We're walking up and down the beach. So, we made it a point. That was our number one focus. We had these, they were this size. They were Yetis. They're about 30 ounces. Instead of filling these with booze, like most people did, we filled these with water, and we would put our vitamins in there every morning. We put a hydration stick in there every morning for our electrolytes. So we would fill this every single morning, and we would drink this with our vitamins every single day. So we'd get 33 ounces there. And then our goal was to drink 1 or 2 additional Yetis down by the pool. Instead of filling this with booze, when we were having our cocktails, we had margaritas and we had a Bellini and mimosas or whatever. We just got what they served us from the bar. And I'll tell you that sticking to the hydration goal, I think made a major difference. So my advice to you guys is get your steps, make a plan for it. We got a lot of sun. We sat around too. But also make it a goal to stick to hydration. And we went to breakfast every morning and we said, we're going to do our thing, right? So as she said, we did our omelets. I had crepes someday. We had a donut, but we always had our eggs. I had some of their green juice, which was amazing, so I got my greens in. We were able to stick to that. As you mentioned, the lunch was awesome. We didn't eat a lot of fried food because I'll tell you what, we had some, like they had these chicken fingers that were super good. But the more fried food we ate, because we don't normally eat it, we started not feeling the greatest.
Right. So, fast forward to the last day of our vacation, come home, and what I tell everybody and anybody who says, I'm going to put on weight you probably are. There's so much that happens. Dehydration from flying, from traveling, all of that. And I tell people, give yourself a couple days to level out before you get on the scale, because that's what everybody tends to do. So Chuck and I did it as well, jumped on the scale to see where things are at. And I'll be very, very honest with you. So as of yesterday, my weight was up 7 pounds since from the time I left till now. Now my body is completely bloated out. My joints are achy. There's so much inflammation. There's so much bloat. And so people say, I've gained 7 pounds. Well, it's not all fat. And you have to remember that. It's not all fat. Some of it will come off a little bit faster than others. What can you do? Everything you were doing before you left. Get back on your workout schedule. That's one that, for whatever reason, when people get back from vacation, it takes them a long time to get back into their routine. You want to be able to jump right back into it. Get back to if you do 5:30 a.m. workouts, get right back to it. What were you hitting for hydration before you left? Get right back to that. Make sure that you're prepared with your meals, because again, if you're not, that's one of the hardest things to get back to and to get back into the swing of it. So it took us Saturday and Sunday to find our groove, and yesterday we were right back into it.
Yeah, and so just kind of a laughing point, right? I was 197.8 before we left. And Saturday morning was when we had gotten back. Our flight was on Friday and we had arrived back home. We were here Saturday morning. Just for fun, I got on the scale. I was up 12 pounds. All right. So I was 209 on Saturday morning. Then on Monday, I was 206. And now I had my first BBF workout back home yesterday. Today I was 203.3. So I'm probably holding like 7 pounds or something. And I obviously gained some body fat, and I'm okay with that. So number one, we know that through alcohol and sugar, right? Alcohol, sugar, and carbohydrates that your body's not accustomed to, you are going to hold water like crazy. You're going to hold water, you are going to be bloated, and your joints are going to feel not so great. And we could tell when we were going up and down stairs, like we were having aches and pains that we hadn't had in a long time. So recognizing that, understanding that, if you don't want to get on the scale, it's not a big deal, but
Right.
we know
But
what
don't
we
think
know.
because you're bloated out or because, like I said to Chuck, I feel like a pork chop right now because my clothes are so tight. You have to be willing. If you were gone for 7 days, you got to give it at least you have to give it at least 7 days to feel
So,
some of that come off.
What I wanted to say to you guys was, for every day you're on vacation, I would at minimum, every day you're on vacation, give yourself that amount of time to get back into the groove of where you were. And what I mean by that is getting back to kind of where those numbers were prior. So is it possible to go on vacation and not gain a single pound? It's probably possible. Are you going to have the best, most fun time ever? I mean, maybe, but
yeah, it's totally up to you.
we didn't go crazy, but we definitely indulged in things that we hadn't in a long time. But I'll tell you, this vacation versus the one 18 months ago when we went to an all-inclusive in Cancun, night and day difference. I was drinking Yetis full of pina coladas, which are pure sugar and alcohol. I was drinking like 90 ounces of pina coladas. When we got there, I ordered a pina colada, and you want my reaction? Oh my goodness, this is so sweet. I couldn't drink it. A lot of the sugary things that I really loved, my taste profile had changed. So for every day we were gone, the way I look at this, we were gone for 14 days. I am giving my 8 months on, 8 months off.
She says it's kind of like for a woman having a baby. Exactly.
Oh, right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I am going to give myself, and I'll still do the weigh-ins and the scans and stuff and check and all that. I'm giving myself at minimum 14 days to get back in the range, the shooting range of that 197.8. Now, do I firmly believe with everything that I know that on day 14 I will be 197.8? No, probably not. In all reality, I probably have to give myself from yesterday a full 21-day challenge. Like kind of today was almost like a day one, if you will, of 20. So I'm personally expecting 21 days before I get back to where I was. However, I knew that going into it.
And now that's coming from people who didn't go completely off the rails. If you go on vacation and you go completely off the rails, you don't get any steps in, you don't get any workouts in, you don't work on hydration, and you're like eating and drinking your face off, you're probably looking at a good month, maybe even 6 weeks to get back to that. I mean, and it's just realizing that when you set out goals for 6 months in a year, and you know that's the type of person you are on vacation and you're going to take 1 or 2 vacations in a year, you just have to give yourself that either 2 months or 3 months to kind of extend out your goals, which is okay, knowing that ahead of time.
So funny, when we went out to Cancun 18 months ago, the thing that we absolutely dominated on last time was our fitness. We actually got on treadmills and ran 1 to 2 miles, and we did workouts in their gym there as well. Like we got our steps and we actually did more working out on our last vacation, but I'll tell you what, our nutrition game and our mindset and the way we applied it last vacation wasn't anything like we did. Like when we went up to the seaside grill there and I found grilled mahi-mahi, and I found the grilled salmon, we fell in love with it. We weren't doing that last time. We were we were all in on the fried foods and the sweets and the overindulgences.
The
and again,
burgers, the fries, down by
pina
the
coladas
pool.
in my Yeti. When she said, she's like, let's get these Yetis. And I'm like, yeah, for our drinks, right? She's like, no, let's get our Yetis for our water. They'll stay cold all day. And we will just order our drinks from the bartenders as we drink them. And that way we're not going crazy. And I'll tell you what, it made all the difference. That was a huge, if you take anything away from this, no matter, I mean, again, not everybody's going to be going out to Punta Cana right now, right? But if you're headed up north, right? You're headed up north or wherever you are in the world, wherever you are in the world watching this, if you are taking a weekend off, how can you get steps? How can you strategically hydrate? How can you move? And how can you make certain decisions? Like every year when people here in Wisconsin go up north to their cabins, we talk about, are you doing veggies instead of chips? Last year you did chips. This summer maybe you're doing more vegetables. Maybe you're doing more fruit. These non-perishable things that work. Maybe you're doing half of a bun, or maybe you found a really good way to just do the burger, right? Or the bratwurst, or the whatever it may be. Maybe you're cooking with turkey. There are ways to make changes. So I'm sharing that with you because if I put vacation versus vacation, 18 months ago, we were trying to outrun our fork.
Absolutely.
This time we were doing fitness, not nearly as crazy, and we were more about making sure that we were on point with the nutrition. We had a great time, And again, when I stepped off that plane, I was 12 pounds up. As of today, day 2 of being back in my groove, 100% in my groove, I am only 7-ish pounds up, right?
Yep.
And I expect by the end of the week it'll be closer to 5. So we're reducing inflammation, we're reducing bloat, and we're kind of getting down to the nitty gritty of, okay, how much body fat did I really put on?
Right. So just go into it with that mindset, my friends. Go into it, have your fun, try and stick with some of the fundamentals that you've been working on, and realize when you come back, it's going to take some time. It doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means get back on the wagon and get right back to what you were doing. That is the most important thing to do when you come back from a vacation.
And if you guys missed my talk yesterday, if you have an opportunity, it was like 10 or 11 minutes, something like that. Yesterday's new nugget. I talked about the acquisition of skill power over willpower. And many people try to will themselves back into their groove. It requires some willpower, absolutely. But all of the skills that you guys have been working on and developing, and we'll just start with those 4 S's, right? The smoothie, the steps, the sweat, and the sip. If you have not started those yet, get started today, because those are the 4 pillars. Smoothie game, hands down, number 1 thing. I could give you 10 benefits right now as to why that's so important, right? Setting a step goal, setting some kind of a sweat goal. It's a 5-minute fit challenge or a workout, and setting a hydration goal. Doing that every single day so that when you go on vacation or take a weekend off, you still honor those 4 pillars as best as you can. And when you return, it's like, yeah, I need a little bit of willpower, but not nearly as much. Like when we came back 18 months ago, it was like ripping teeth out of our face. Like, oh, this is so
I don't even
hard.
know that we truly ever got back on track. Like
right.
we had to do some things, but I don't know that we really got back on track.
Right. So yesterday was a challenge, but we knew, like, we used our air fryer, we used our Instapot. We did I did my smoothie at 4:30. I did another one today at 4:45. We both drank a gallon of water yesterday. I had my timer for my water, my watch timer. We had our jugs out. Like it was like bam, 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 bam. The one thing yesterday that I'll share with you that was the hardest, that required willpower, was the end of the day. And we both said to each other, we need to get our butts in bed. And we were in bed watching Yellowstone. That's our new favorite show. And we said, I'm hungry. Yep. And she said, I'm hungry. And I said, I know. And I said, let's go put the dogs out. And we almost had a snack. We did. We went downstairs, put the dogs out, came back up and went to bed. And so the little devil was trying to get us, so we had to exhibit willpower and make sure we went to bed early so we weren't on the couch snacking.
And your body I'm telling you, your body will do whatever you tell it. So when you're on vacation and you're having those late night snacks and late night cocktails, when you come back, there's nothing to tell your body that you're done with it. That's where that willpower comes in. You have to be ready that your body's going to tell you it still wants that because you just gave that to it for 7 days, 10 days, whatever the time may be.
Cravings are at an all-time high coming off of this. All right, so final thing here, guys. Yes, it's my birthday today, right? And I think many people are like, it's my birthday, and I'll eat what I want to. Okay, I get it. And if you want to do that, great. I'm going to tell you this is my birthday morning. Got up, had 8 ounces of water, had my green smoothie at 4:45 along with my morning coffee that she made for me, right? We put a little half and half in here, right? Put a little bit of our syrups in here. That's what I've had. I worked out. I'm having some rice cakes. I'll have a protein shake. We have our breakfast set for today. We have our lunch. We're going to do some air fryer burgers today. Never tried that before. We're going to go to our favorite restaurant tonight, Play Bistro. I'm going to have a steak. We're going to share some cheesecake. Just because it's my birthday, I'm not taking the day off, right? I'm not taking the day off. I've exercised. We're going to have to work to get our steps in today. I had my smoothie on point today. I am going to treat today just like every other day. We're going to have a little bit of an indulgence at the end of the day, but it's going to be great. So my friends, you guys, this is all about building long-term habits. You are going to get out of this what you put into this, my friends, and that is the message today.
Yeah, BB-8. BB-8 is the name of our air fryer. I'm going to try burgers in it today. If you're part of the members group, you'll get to see how they turn out. My friends, we're going to be signing off here. We love you so much. I mean, truly from the depths of our core. Yes,
I like to do it like this. But then Roxanne said, this is the same thing as this. This is way easier.
Join Coach Chuck at noon. What are you debunking habits?
I am debunking the myth today of habits about habits take X amount of time. Habits take 21 days. Habits take 6 months. I'm going to totally crush that myth, and I'm going to explain to you how habits truly are formed.
All right, we love you all. Join us at noon. Join me tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Go out and make this day an absolutely fantastic day.
Love you guys.
Love you all. Thank you, Lori.